Hi Leo, how are you guys? Let's do your reading. We're going to pull cards on you and your current energy, situation, and the person or situation on your mind. This is just pre-shuffle, but it was so powerful I wanted to share it. But this, it looks, I think this is you, making a very big decision, life-altering. So he's got the whole world in his hand, see that? And there's a wand here, and he's got his back turned to a wand. So and he's going, the way these cards laid out was going towards this Ace of Pentacles. This Ace of Pentacles has a feeling of, yes, financial stability, yes, a huge opportunity, but purpose. It's like my higher self energy here. So somebody looks like turned away from something, I think you, towards purpose. And you guys, I can't stress enough how, and you probably know this, you guys are Leos, how important it is to have a purpose, something that you are working towards, something that you are achieving, accomplishing, even if it's small victories, okay? It is so important for happiness and well-being. So if you don't know what your purpose is, that's your starting point. That's where you start working, start looking for it, start thinking about it, okay? But just make sure you have something that you're accomplishing and working towards. On a huge scale or on a small scale. It could be something personally, and cleaning your house, making a goal, some goals and purpose. Okay, so Ace, and I'm saying those things, those small things, it's starting points because you build so much more momentum, and then it just carries over into every other area. Okay, so it looks like kind of turning away from something, making a decision to go towards your higher self is what this is feeling like. And then look what happens. It looks like love returns, and it just kept going. And we're going to pull a full spread, but look at this. A lot of love, somebody coming in. And then I felt like enlightenment. Your enlightenment, I believe, enlightens somebody else. Why did I feel that? Did I see it? Okay, yeah. I think it's been an eye-opening for someone. Okay, so this could be an apology. Again, just pre-shuffle. We're going to lay out a full spread. Yeah. Somebody sees your value. See this? So clear. I mean, we could probably just stop there. So clear. So somebody sees your value and comes rushing back, decides that they want you. I think this is somebody who's avoidant. I'm getting so much of that. Somebody that comes and goes, in and out, can't handle conflict. Any sign of conflict, they may bail and be, like, oh, I'm better off on my own. So it looks like somebody's woken up to your value and know they're not better on their own. They maybe have some childhood wounds, and they have an avoidant attachment style, which is very difficult to deal with. So if you choose to deal with it, you are gonna just, need to be aware that it's difficult. They run from conflict. They don't like feelings. They don't like to deal with other people's feelings. And it's just because they're just so full. They just don't have the capacity, or, they learn to be totally self-reliant. As a child, they couldn't trust that they could trust their feelings and vulnerability with others. They learned that was always a disappointment. So they had probably some perceived, it doesn't even have to be true, but perceived inconsistency in their caregiving, okay? So that's just if you're dealing with somebody avoidant. And that Four of Swords is especially because it came out with the other, kind of like in and out energy, the Two of Pentacles, that just had a very strong avoidant attachment style vibe. If you guys are seeing someone and in that struggle, push-pull with an avoidant, and the Aquarius reading I was very scattered in it, I will say, but it did have a lot of really strong points about dealing with an avoidant. Okay, so let's lay out a spread. How are you guys? Wow, Judgment. So this is a big decision. Oh, and that's what we had in the very beginning. This is so frustrating. I swear, I practiced and I got it to there. I'm like, I can't keep struggling with this on camera. It's got to be so annoying. So remember what we started out with. Somebody made a huge decision to start again, to do something drastic. So that's your energy. Very consistent reading. Y'all's energy is super strong. Please subscribe if you're not, because it connects your energy to me, and I do believe the readings will come through stronger for you. Okay, so 5 of somebody's turned away. See, it's like, I can't keep doing this. It's too difficult. It's, you know, it's messing with. It's like giving me a mind bender, trying to understand. So somebody's turned away from the 2 cups. That's kind of like the overall theme here. And guess what? They come rushing back. So this is a light. This isn't like a message that says, I love you, will you marry me? But this is possibly somebody, you know, testing the waters. Somebody coming in. That's your person. So somebody's going to send a text or call, hopefully. I would really like that. Yeah, unexpected. They see you as a go-getter. The Knight of Swords, somebody, and it looks like maybe you kind of like left without warning in their mind. That's their perception. So Knight of Swords, it's facing away. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Tell me the cards aren't coming out exactly right after I say it. Fleeing. They look, this is how they view the situation. Looks like you ran off unexpectedly in their mind. Doesn't mean it's true. But these people, you know, if they are avoidant, then it's like you can't win. I'm sorry if I'm, you know, hopefully this is helpful. It's kind of like you can't win, because if you give too much attention, they're like, whoa, you know, you're needy, or they're like, I can't deal with this depth of attention and love and connection. But if you don't, then it's kind of like, poor me. I mean, it's just, it's tough. Okay, so their next actions towards you, well, looks like they're feeling pretty strong, even though maybe they're going to come in strong, like a strong masculine. That would be great if they're masculine. There looks like action. The Emperor is divine masculine energy. It is somebody strong and controlled, not wishy-washy. That would be amazing. And maybe when that happens, you just really, one thing with avoidance is they really thrive on compliments, and it's much more productive to praise the good behavior than to criticize the negative behavior, because criticizing shuts them down. Even if you're not actually criticizing, sometimes you can just say, I want to spend more time together, and they can take that as an insult, like, oh, well, you're not happy with me. It's a little bit of a mind bender, like I said. But anyway, looks like you cleared yourself of it, and they're like, wait, what happened? And I just want to tell you something else, Leo, while we're on it. They also, when they get too close, and they feel, God, I feel like my finger just went out of the socket or something. When they get too close, what these people can do is they can start fault finding. I just want you to be aware if you're dealing with that, if you're dealing with a avoidant, because it can really wear and tear on self-esteem of the other person. It's a way to keep you at arm's distance. They will start finding fault with you, and that's their survival mechanism to say, well, it's never going to work, because they'll look for flaws. So I just want you to be aware if that does happen to you, because it can be very damaging unless you understand it, that is a trait. Okay. So, wow, what you cannot see is this person is burdened. They have a lot, we'll have to explore that one, but they have a lot on their plate. They feel a heavy burden. That's a 10 of Wands. So something's weighing you leaving, if you read the cards down, you leaving or turning your back to them is really messing with them. Look at this. This is my return card. Six of Cups. This is my favorite card in the deck. Beautiful energy. Somebody very, very sweet energy. Somebody returning, maybe with flowers and an apology would be my hope. So if you want it, be receptive. I just want to say, it's so easy to get in our ego and say, I deserve better, and, kind of like be snippety about it. But the bottom line is not having an ego and just being, your sweet, wonderful self. Looks like you're turned away and you're occupying yourself with something else, a purpose, a job, something better. You're going on with your life, which is going to make you, one, they're going to be, when you pull away, that's when they don't feel smothered anymore, right? That could be what's happening here. Y'all let me know in the comments. But I think the best way to handle it is just to not be judgy and critical and just say, you know, I think you're great. You know, definitely you might want to lash out. That's not what's going to work here. So when this person comes back, the advice, if you choose to take it, is to be open and warm. This is a very sweet energy. Very, very sweet. This sweet, sweet energy. And this is in the Tarot's advice position. So it doesn't mean you're a doormat. It means you're very sweet, receptive, open. If you want them back, and then you're honest. You're able to say, I am crazy about you. I want to be with you. These are the things that I need. I need to feel important. I need to know you. I need to feel loved. You know, I need to feel cared for. So I want to be together. I would love to be together, but these are my needs. So it's just like an honesty is just super important here. And in the outcome, you've got options. There we go. So it looks like you maybe are going to take your time. You're going to progress with your life either way. This 3 of this bottom of the deck, 3, I don't know, you may turn your back on this person. Love coming in, again, super strong return energy. And it's legit. I mean, it's felt, it's heartfelt. But you've got, you know, you're kind of making peace with the past or letting it go, making peace with the present, and just really focused on the future. That's going to take your other things in your life are taking precedence. I love this energy. I'm getting this a lot right now. It's going to take precedence over somebody that you can't totally rely on. Instead of them being the one with the whole, well, we'll just see how it goes, you're going to be the one, I think, that's going to be kind of like, well, we'll just see how it goes. I would love for this to work out, but I also have needs and wants and hopes and, you know, plans that I want, or, you know, a vision for my life. Does this person complement your life, or do they hurt your life? Okay, I don't know why I pulled this, but there's the death card. Let's just clarify it real quick. Oh, it was sticking out. Why do we have the death card? You may not take this person back. If you do, it's only going to be with a very strong transition. And another thing is, I feel like this person, you have to say, look, we have to be able to communicate. Even if it's difficult, that's how you grow closer. When you work through conflict, your connection deepens. And that's often why some people don't want to work through conflict. They don't want that level of intimacy. And maybe you have a little avoidance in you too. But I will say working through conflict is what will help you transition and grow deeper. What else do we need to hear? Okay. Putting in a lot of work, effort, waiting. I don't know about that. Why do we have the 7 of Pentacles? So there isn't self-regulate. This feels like the ability to self-regulate and not dwell and just pine over somebody's attention. It's kind of like you've learned in the past, maybe you just got stuck waiting and wondering, and you know, when is all the work that I put into this going to pay off? Where's the reward for everything I put into this? And this looks like kind of like an ascension ability to self-regulate instead of, you know, focus. And what do? You focus on your purpose. I want to see what was I going to ask about? The Knight of Swords. What's the Knight of Swords? So that's the second time. It looks like an apology. Wow. So it's kind of like I have to go after my dreams, my happiness. I would love for you to be on that journey with me, you know? It also might be, I had another offer. Maybe you took an offer, I don't know, job, something. Or maybe you had an offer from someone else and it made you kind of rethink things of what you want. Just saw the Four of Swords again, which is my avoidant card. There's somebody that avoids conflict, runs from conflict. Okay, so we've got the Eight of Pentacles. Didn't really ask a question though, did I? There's a lot of twin flame energy coming out right now also, which I think sometimes twin flame can be misconstrued as, you know, sometimes it's these avoidant and anxious attached couples feel like a twin flame. They can mimic, look at that, twin flame. 1111. So there is a strong tie that's very difficult to let go of. That could be. So it's like this intermittent reward system. So this person, you get these small rewards and then it keeps you waiting. Or didn't we have waiting a second ago? Yeah. It keeps you waiting for that next breadcrumb or that next, you know, reward. And we really can do a psychological number on our minds. But this focused attention, what is that? Whoops. What did I just drop on the floor? Yeah, this is like always wondering, what's next? When am I going to hear from them? Maybe if I put in more work. Anyway, I think you guys are breaking out of that. And this is also, you know, just showing there is a very strong hold here. But I think the point and the purpose is to put yourself first. Because this person could totally, if this is an anxiously attached person, they will totally drag you down. And you have to turn away from that off and on energy. And it's a very difficult thing to do, but it looks like you're mastering it. I just want one more for outcome. We might actually, let's pull a, how did their hidden feelings. Oh my gosh, chills. You guys, wow. Oh. Okay, so look, 1111 twin flame energy. Okay, let's get some hidden feelings. How do they truly feel? What would they say if they didn't have, you guys please let me know in the comments. Also, I'm starting to really work on gratitudes again. So if you guys want to write some intentions or gratitudes or just say thank you. The more you say thank you, I think the more you're going to notice things to say thank you for, the more you'll bring in that energy. Look at that. I mean, you may have some serious soul growth. And I really feel like, Leo, your ability to not scold and still love them, even though they don't have the capacity to love you in that same way, I just think that's just going to be life altering, you know, example. It's not that you're lowering yourself to not getting what you deserve. Oh my gosh. Yeah. God, this reading, everything, you know, it's just so clear. I'm in a much better headspace now. I feel like you're really impacting this person's life by example. I'm going to cover up a little bit of this. Here's the next one. I look at your picture often. And we know that too, because remember we clarified and we got this. Somebody does keep tabs on you with our little spy page. All right, Leo, let's talk in the comments. I love you guys so much. I will see you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye, Leo.